Good. Still morning, Big Brother Hometown's Viewing Lounge. We're back again at a different time for another dish of morning tea with CLC. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Adam. That's it for now. It is snowing outside. I am miserable with that. So we're dealing with that. I'm also just tired in general, but we're going to get through it because we've got a lot to talk about. But yes, I am very much alive. Sorry for scaring y'all. I woke up at 10:20, so about 10 minutes before this was supposed to start. Then thought it was snowing, and then had to walk the dog, and then brush my teeth, and all that. So we were going to start late anyway. And then sat down and was like, ooh, and no Wi-Fi. So we've been late anyway. I'm alive, but we're here to talk about BBH and not my current state of living or not. So that's fine. For the second time in and there goes the Wi-Fi. Hold on. The Wi-Fi is unstable. Hey Marcelo. Hopefully my Wi-Fi will become unstable or not unstable again. All right, looks like we're back. Did you eat your cantaloupe today? Fun fact, I don't like cantaloupe. I don't like melons in general. And if you want to take that as a heterosexual joke, go for it, because it's also true. For the second time in morning tea history, I have two guests joined at the same location. First time it was Stokes and Jabbar. Now, joining me from Boston, Massachusetts, or somewhere near there, it's Jason and Katie P.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
So it's Everett, which is like 10 minutes north of Boston. It's not that far.
Close enough.
Yeah, might as well be Boston.
As someone who grew up in Cibolo, Texas, which is basically San Antonio, I get it. It's like, I'm from Cibolo. They're like, where? I'm like, San Antonio. And they're like, oh, I know exactly where that is. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So it'll work. It'll count. We got it. Y'all are apparently at a meetup, kind of.
Yeah. A paranoia meetup.
Would you like to plug your game that eventually will be coming back in the near future?
Eventually, if Dan can get off his ass. Blame Dan. So, yeah, it's a Survivor game. She's the winner of season 4.
Hello.
She won the last season.
Hey.
And we're probably going to see it coming back in the summer. So
well, there you go. You heard it here first, folks.
$200 cash prize.
Paranoia 5 coming back sometime this summer. Hopefully, Dan, get off your ass. I'm not sure I'm not even sure if Dan's on our VL. Dan, get off your ass. But shout out to KDP, the current fucking reigning.
Hey.
And also to the other 3 people who won the series, and Mitchell Hammond and some other people. Who won season 3?
It was Phil Torres, Mitchell Hammond, Crispy Provost, and
Crispy, that's right. I just remember everyone hating Rizzo, so that's all I remember from season 3. Sorry, Crispy. You're on our VL, but I'm not sure you're watching this. But anyway, oopsies. And joining us, looking stunning as always in her BBH merch, it's the winner. We got 2 winners on the stream now. Oh, and JC won games too. You won CCC recently.
One game, yeah.
So we got a bunch of winners on the stream right now. The winner of Big Brother Hometown 13. It's Miss Crystal.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Card holders, congratulations. That will probably be getting crossed off soon by Crystal K-Pop Powell.
I had all the plans in the world to watch the video last night, and I went to my husband's restaurant at like 3:30 in the afternoon and proceeded to be there floating from random person I know to random person I know until like 10:30.
Oh no, girl, this Wi-Fi. Oh girl, is this not streaming well? Oh no, this is not great. Oh no. Can no one like see us or hear us? I'm like,
this is like the clearest I think I've ever seen it.
I know, right?
I can't wait till CLC drops and it's now morning tea with Jason.
That's fine. You can lead it. I don't know what's happening.
Girl, it's back apparently. I never got a signal that it wasn't ever here, so that's fun. This is great. We're doing great, fam. I love the Wi-Fi here. It's going super great. But glitches from time to time. Girl, can it not do that? That's unfortunate and nasty. That's all good. Okay, we're gonna run with it, fam. Keep us posted. Comments. What a day today. Anyway, moving on. We're here to discuss day 13 in the Big Brother Hometown's house. Whew, what a day. What a day. It sounds like we finally are going to have a move that happens that people are finally going to keep to their fucking selves for once. It sounds like we might finally have a blind side on our hands. And it, for once, it seems like Olivia and Kelly are not going to get their way for once in this game. They don't get to just sit back and get everything that they want. So it's a very exciting day. Not that I don't love Olivia and Kelly, don't get that wrong. But it's just exciting to see something fucking shake up this game for once. So that I'm very excited about. So coming into today, we had Veronica and Bridget on the block underneath a cadre head of household. We had our veto players of Anwar, Jeff, and somebody. Someone didn't do very well in the competition. Oh, Olivia. Oops, sorry, Olivia. All playing for the power veto, all with possibly different intentions here. Olivia, who would like to save Bridget, but probably won't use it on her. Jeff, who wants Bridget to stay, but not sure she'll use it on her. And then Anwar, who is unsure what he would do, but obviously would only use it on Veronica. So lots of interesting scenarios we see here. But let's start off the day with, I think, really the big winners of the day. And that is going to be Anwar, Louise, and Caro. Pretty much dictate the day today. They kind of like triangularly call each other. So like Anwar calls Louise and Louise calls Caro, then Caro calls Anwar, and they kind of just are all relaying information to each other. And they kind of all throughout the day are realizing how many chats Olivia and Bridget are in with other people. Anwar leaks his trio with them. Louise leaks the Backyardigans that contains Olivia, Bridget, Louise, along with Elise and Kelly. And then Caro leaks Girl Gang, which is Caro, Olivia, Bridget, and Kelly. And they're starting to realize, like, oh, Olivia and Bridget wanted all these alliances to exist. And what are the odds that they have one with each of us? What are the odds they also have one with everyone else in this game? What are the odds? And now they're like, you know what? If Bridget's to stay on the block, let's yeet the hell out of her. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this?
It's the way they're not talking about Kelly in the same way.
Yeah,
right.
Good point.
That's exactly what Kelly's doing. Kelly's in every chat, and
Kelly's doing it better.
like Kelly is getting away with murder right now, and it's fun. It's just simply fun at this point.
If this move works and Kelly gets blindsided, like not Kelly going home, but Kelly gets blindsided, I'm really interested to see how she's going to respond.
I think she'll take it in stride, and she's so level-headed, and so the idea that Anwar thinks she's boring to be on the phone with is so silly and weird, but she's just so good and so chill. She's just like a stone cold like killer in there, and it's fun to watch. It's funny I'm talking about her because I'm like, yeah, those two were messy and they're not doing it the same. They're just not doing it as well. So we should talk about them, and I just like totally segued out of that.
Yeah, and it seems like they're getting there about Kelly, and it seems like they're getting there about Olivia. And it might just be that they're so focused on Bridget because Bridget's on the block. And like they seem to be getting there on the other two. But yeah, it's funny that they are so pressed by Bridget when Kelly figured it out yesterday. Kelly did a good crystal move and decided to map out every alliance she thinks exists in the game and draw all these lines and shit. It wasn't as pretty as Crystal's graphics, but hey, it'll do. And Kelly's like, this can't be right. Every alliance that I'm not in contains Anwar. And like, are there only like 3 alliances that exist that don't include me? Yes, Kelly, those would all be correct. You're in every alliance but like 3, and those 3 all contain Anwar. Like, and she started to realize, like, Jesus Christ, I'm in a lot of shit. So it's funny that Bridget's the one that's getting all the flack for this when it's Kelly who's in literally like 8/11ths of the current alliances that are still left in the game. It's just wild to me.
I think it's very indicative of their energies. Like Kelly is very chill and calm, so it doesn't seem that crazy. And then Bridget's very like high intense, and then Olivia is somewhere in the middle, and that's exactly how they're being sort of read and clocked.
Yeah. Ultimately, through the triangular calls of Anwar, Caro, and Louise after leaking their individual alliances containing Olivia and Bridget, they kind of all agree that it's time to see Bridget go for all different reasons. Anwar is tired of Bridget because Bridget threw him and Veronica under the cadre during this head of household reign, and he's just annoyed that she's pegging like him and Veronica as a duo when anytime someone brings up her and Olivia as a duo, she like deflects and which like is exactly what Bridget should be doing. But like Anwar's just tired of like the hypocrisy here where it's like, oh, my duo is the biggest threat to this game, but you and Olivia's isn't. Interesting. Louise, funny enough, is willing to take out Bridget because she feels like Bridget and Olivia were the ones pushing Elise and Louise as a duo. Now, this is where it gets a little fact-checky. I'm not sure. So this was a rumor that started in round 2 of this game, back when the Ridiculous Six was exposed. And I'm not sure who started this rumor. And I'm not sure if Anwar and Caro were ever even aware of this rumor existing, but they decide to run with it and make the lie even further and say that Olivia and Bridget are the ones that pushed this idea, which could even be true at the end of the day, because I have no clue where this rumor even originated from in round 2, but this rumor is not new. But Caro and Anwar are lying to Louise, being like, oh yeah, Bridget and Olivia told me this, just to fully get Louise on board to yeet Bridget. Again, this lie could ultimately be true, and they don't intend it for it to be true. So, but that is happening. That's why Louise is now on board, and Caro is just over Olivia because Olivia lied to her about why she was the target during the Jimbo H2H reign, and taking a shot at Bridget is like taking a shot at Olivia. So they all kind of agree, Bridget, get the hell out.
In my 2 outings of BBH, one of the things I learned was like, if I want somebody out and I need the votes, I don't care what reason you have. You can have any reason under the goddamn sun to vote that person out that I want out. You could vote for them because you don't like the color of their shirt. I don't care. So like, multiple people having multiple reasons to vote out Bridget, it's still good.
Something that probably doesn't help Bridget is Jeff coming in with these are the 8 people who like I am going to like, if they win, I'm content. Because if I'm outside of that 8, I'm like, oh, let me just start taking out these 8 people.
Yeah. Like, obviously they have to have some connection if Jeff loves every single one of them all at the same time.
Yeah. No, and I mean, and Jeff's finding himself in that boat as well. I mean, we'll get to it at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, this cast shouldn't need a ton of reasons to vote anybody out because everyone has theoretically already crocheted the noose for themselves. They're standing on the stool, and it's just waiting for the stool to come under all of them because they are all so talkative and all have discussed who they would target when
it's insane.
It's like, I'm not HOH, you're not HOH. Like, the nominations are set. We could talk about the noms, or we could talk about who you would target next round if you're HOH. And, like, everyone's doing it. Like, everyone knows who everyone is targeting. So, like, whoever wins head of household, like, whoever is actively targeting that person, like, get on the block. Like, kick the stool because you've already done yourself in dirty. Like, Jacob knows that he's actively talked bad about Elise and Louise. If one of them wins out of household, he knows he's going up on the block. He knows it. Same thing with anybody.
There's a certain level of calculated risk with that because I did something similar. I was just like, look, this is the person I'm going after, which is not you. So unless and I knew if that person won, I was screwed. But I was also I was seen as such a non-threat that I was kind of like, if I'm sitting up there next to most people, they'd be stupid not to vote out the other person. So even if I go up, even if that person wins and I go up and I get sat next to like threat level, whatever person, I'm like, I'm probably still going to be okay, but they're not being seen that way. And if you're being seen as a threat, you're so easy to just pluck out of there.
I think every season there's at least 1 or 2 people like that you kind of know what they would do if they won HOH. You know, it could be like CLC going after Kieran and 9. Like, that would be the most obvious thing, like, ever. An entire cast where if they were to win HOH, you're like, this person will go on the block, and you're a player playing in that would be difficult. I don't.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, like Kadri won, and everyone was like, as we talked about, there was like 6-7 people that all freaked out about, oh God, Kadri's winning, and all of them were like, oh well, we know Veronica's going on the block. They're like, really? They're like, oh yeah, Kadri told me 2 days ago that if he won HOH, he targeted Veronica. Like, one nomination was already locked in because these people like it's okay to have like one target in mind, in my opinion, because if you're having game talk with people and they ask who you would target, you need to have one. You need to tell them something, or if you don't tell them something, they're going to get sketched out. But if you have one name that you tell everybody, or just a few people that ask, like, that's okay, because it's like it's one person. But these people are like, oh no, here are my initial noms, here's my renom, if the renom wins the veto and uses the veto. Like, these people, Jacob's like, here's my entire trust tier, you're number 6, my love. Like, these people are just laying it all out.
That happens, I'm like, what are you doing? Unless that person's number 1, they didn't know nothing about anything, any lists, any trust tiers.
So Crystal,
oh my God.
Advice from a winner right here. If you were in the house right now and people were like, and you were exactly in one of their positions, doesn't matter which one, they're all in the same position. How would you navigate around that? Of like,
first of all, I'd be losing my mind because no one can keep their damn mouth shut. Like, enough of that happened in my own. I'm like, keep your mouth shut. I don't know. I think these seasons are each sort of their own unique thing, and this is very different from what I did. Like, I don't think I could have pulled off the same thing, but it's, you almost have to build the culture in the house that you want to happen. And me being more secretive, like other people were, I don't know. I felt like our cast was just more, it was just more tight-lipped, and this is just wild. And somebody kicked this off. Like, this is a problem that needed to be resolved way earlier than it is now, and it's so far just out there. And I kept things really, when I was worried about people talking, I kept things vague enough, but gave enough information so that they still felt like. Also, this is terrible. I put a lot of like emotional energy into conversations so that people really felt like, oh, I'm this girl's like person. Like, there's no way there's no way she's giving this much energy to somebody else in this capacity. So I don't know. A lot of it was like a feeling thing, as opposed to they're all playing so strategically and less emotionally that it's hard to say. I don't know. You gotta have to be in there.
I feel like this house is a game of poker, but you can see everyone's hands.
Everyone's bad at it though.
Like,
everyone's playing hard.
Some people have
poker,
better,
not the game of Big Brother, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of great players in here. I think it's just the evolution of the game also, and they're a lot more game body than like past people. They're feelings, but it's also very, so many of them are counting out so far ahead instead of looking at what's right in front of them, which is something I always did. I'm like, it doesn't matter what's going to happen 4 rounds from now if I'm not there. So what do I need to do right now?
Exactly. And that's the biggest tip I have for like new orgers, or like anyone who's played a few games, or someone who's sitting down with themselves and being like, hey, I haven't won a game. Why is that? My first question is to you, like, when you go out, did you see it coming? Like, because how many of, like, you have to, and again, blindsides are blindsides regardless if you're assessing the current round or not, but you have to always be thinking about like what round you're in versus like, I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, I want to be at the final 2 or final 3 with these X, Y, and Z people because I can beat them. Doesn't matter if you're not there. You have to focus on getting there first. Like, yes, like sometimes you have to take a harder route to get there, and that's okay. But like you can't try and like and I feel like Olivia's finding herself in this boat of trying to pave herself the perfect route to get to the end. It's like, Olivia, sometimes you have to take your foot off the pedal and be like, you know what? I will take whatever road I can get to the end at the worst case scenario. You can't try and force it.
There's
have
also
20.
all these people, like, I always blew my mind when I was playing and people were like, so at the final 5, like, ideally, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, anything can happen. Like, don't worry about it. When you're at the final 5, worry about it. Also, Kelly said something in one of her DRs about, wanting to go to the end with somebody who would be willing to take her, wouldn't be threatened by her. And I think it's something I made very clear to my very strong allies. I'm like, I am not bothered sitting. You can't be worried about that. Who you're sitting. You need to like own what you're doing and do enough that it doesn't matter who you're sitting next to, because if you're not there, you're not there. It
And
doesn't.
especially in Big Brother, where it's like you could like there's a lot of luck involved. If the wrong person wins HOH, you're gone. Like that's just how it works. This isn't Survivor where it's like, oh, if I have an alliance at final 8, I'm guaranteed to make the final 5 with that alliance. No, like if somebody you don't like or don't get along with or wants you out gets HOH, that's what happens. So you have to really think about this round, and Big Brother's all about round to round.
I will say to that, I mean, I feel like I did a lot of work of, okay, if I do get nominated, I'm probably not going out. And if one person doesn't like you and becomes HOH and nominates you, but like most of the other people like you, you got that going for you. So, I mean, anything could happen, but you can't shore up everyone, but you can sure try to shore up most people because there's still a vote, and that's kind of what's going to carry the day.
Exactly. Well, we have another morning tea first. Someone joining us for the first time on morning tea with CLC. She is here on the West Coast. It's 8:23 her time, and her neighbor's house may or may not be on fire. It's Tay-Slay. You're on mute.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so if you hear fire truck noises, no, you didn't.
The beeping is still going on. There was smoke coming out of
Girl.
maybe their dumpster, but it's not my apartment. Yay!
And that's the motto today. Not my apartment. Yay!
What
And
is somebody
honestly,
else's problem field in front of that?
honestly, that might be the motto of this season of like everyone's like I feel like every day everyone's stock is sinking depending on whose lens you're looking through, because everyone has someone who's targeting them. Like Louise only's got one person who's looking at her. And it's Jacob, but like if Jacob's rise to power, like oop, and there goes Louise's stock. Like whoever you're looking through, someone's always in danger, and like it's their apartment that's on fire, not yours, it's theirs, so not my problem. And that's a lot of people's mentality. Like that's how Kelly's mentality is on this round. She's like, do I want Bridget to go? Probably not. But like, do I care that much? No, not really, because it's not my battle to fight. Like if she wants to stay, she's going to fight for herself to frickin' stay. So very exciting to see, how this round ultimately plays out. So post the Anwar, Caro, Anwar, and Louise kind of trio call of concocting this plan, they want to bring in just the right people. They do not want this to be we're going to tell the whole house and the other side can just flip and save Veronica and we all can be one hunky-dory family. Oh, no. They want to split this house. And I think that's a great move coming into jury to split this house, to draw a line in the sand and be like, no, we're on this side and you're on that side. And if you want to come to this side, you're going to have to draw another line about someone on that side. Like you're going to have to wage war against people. And what's funny enough is that while we've been saying that this Cold War seems between Jeff and Olivia, when and we'll get into kind of why we still think that, Jeff and Olivia might actually be blindsided while on the same side with one another, despite both wanting to go after each other. So this might even shake up who the Cold War is even between, because Jeff Olivia might have to call a truce because they're both getting attacked by the same people. So maybe it's time to be like, hey, let's align for right now and let's take a shot back at them. And then we can go back to hating each other in a couple rounds from now. So
Cold War.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by all of this, because really the only people like Caro, Anwar, and Luis know about the plan. But no one else has really been like clued in yet, to my knowledge. Jimbo would be a great person to bring in. Jimbo very much would like to see Veronica stay, but I'm not sure he's like super locked in on that. I think he is, but I'm not gonna like I think Jimbo knows that he is in not a great spot in this game. So again, it's very much like how Anwar is trying to lie to people. Like if anyone who's asking that he doesn't want to know about the plan, he's like, I'm fine to lose Veronica because then my duo's gone and my target goes down. I think Jimbo could get there in the same way, but actually vote out Veronica because Jimbo, I think, realizes he needs to like sit back, have some good things happen in his favor, and like then kind of reassess his game plan. So honestly, could see him flipping on Veronica, even though I think right now, gun to his head, he'd vote to save her. And I think Jacob is the other one. I think Jacob very much is wanting to take out bigger threats in this game. He's been about that from the jump. Anytime there's been a bigger threat on the block, he's like, why can't we vote them out? Why do we have to vote out Robbie? Why do we have to vote out Claudia? Why do we have to vote out Michael? Like, let's take the bigger shot at someone else. So it doesn't matter. I don't think his allies would even tell, even if they told Jacob, hey, no, let's vote out Veronica, he wouldn't do it. I don't think he would.
So confused and intrigued and whatever by Jacob, and I would love to hear you kind of
let's talk about him.
Disseminate what the hell he's doing, because sometimes it feels like he's really delusional in his power. But I was like, I don't know if I'm getting a good read because I haven't been following closely enough.
He has had the ability to flip the votes almost every vote. I mean, he started the Claudia flip. Yeah. He could have pushed and I think gotten Michael to stay if he had said anything to anyone else. But you
got to say stuff.
Gave up on that.
Because the people that would have flipped for him are the people that he wants to see on the block. He didn't talk to Elise, and he didn't talk to Elise about it. He didn't talk to Elise. He didn't talk to Caro. Those are two people that would have flipped to save Michael. Or well, Caro was already there, but like Elise could have been part of that flip. But he didn't talk to Elise because they just don't get on call with each other. So Jacob just approached the wrong people about it. But yeah, could have saved Michael.
The worst is knowing you could have saved somebody, like one of your allies. You could have done it, and you didn't. Absolutely the worst. Hi, Michael.
Hey.
And right now, I think people think he's in the middle of this vote. Like he could decide it or help. Yeah. Like, so really deciding a lot of stuff. But I don't understand how either, because he doesn't call anyone during the day. It's only nighttime. And then it's only a couple of people every night. It's not like he gets on nighttime and calls everyone. I think maybe the first couple rounds he did, or the first round at least.
Yeah. But yeah, he called Elise yesterday, and it was the first call he had with Elise in like a week.
To hear him talk, he's got this whole thing and everybody in it wrapped around his finger, and I'm just like, I don't think so.
Yeah, Jacob just has a confidence about him, and I can't, and I have yet, because I can't just ask him this out front, because then he's going to realize that something's up. Like, I can't tell. Yeah, like, I can't tell if he just goes into every call with confidence, because that's just going to, convince people that you're right and that they should do what you're asking. Because if you walk in and act confident, people are going to be like, oh shit, like, he knows something we don't, because from my perspective, he's very wrong, but he's acting so confident, so he must be right. Or if it's just delusion, I don't know.
There's definitely a fine line you have to balance when going into a call and like needing to get something done. Like if you go in with confidence, that's fine. But if you go in too confident, it becomes cocky, and that turns people off. So there has to be a certain level, and I don't know how Jacob is doing in that perspective. I haven't actually sat on one of his calls yet, but
because there aren't many. There aren't many, and they're not very long either. But yeah, he just has an aura to him that people either really love, like Kelly loves it, Kadri loves it, or is very scary. Like Jeff got on a call with him like a day or 2 days ago, and he immediately left that call, went to his DR, and was like, "Oh my god, he needs to go like now. Like he is scary." Like people either love it, want him on his side, or my god, they want him out so fucking quickly. Like Jacob just has an aura about him, and just the way he talks, he comes off such like a seasoned player when he's not. He's played like a few mediums, I guess is what we would call them.
Last night when he was signing off the call with Jimbo, he mentioned like, "Oh, I watched something that you told me to watch," basically. And I was like, this is where I feel like he's shining. Like he connected with Jimbo, like they talk game, and then he's still connected personally, even at the end. And I was like, maybe this is what it is with Jacob, is that he's still like you tell someone to watch something and then they go watch it, and then you have a whole new thing to talk about with this person in the game.
Yeah,
I think that's a very good social move.
Yeah,
like I commend him for having just not the audacity, but the audacity to walk up to Olivia and be like, "You're number 6, just so you know," and then walk away from that conversation and be like, "I'm just vibing."
Yeah, it's chill. We're chilling.
Because
It was
I feel like he kind of needs to start containing the level of cockiness that he's having, because it's starting to rub a lot of people the wrong way. So I'm like, you can be cocky all you want, just you might want to redirect it to like your diary room, to like your number 1 person, because if you're doing that to everyone, everyone's going to be like, no, this is just annoying. Like someone's going to be like, what if we blindside him? It'll be funny.
I mean, from the outside, what he's doing is funny. I'm trying to have a better understanding of like how the people in the house feel about it, because
it's a mixed bag.
You're playing with, like, thank you for entertaining me out here, but
yeah, it is a mixed bag, because I mean, you've got Kadri and Kelly who absolutely love him. You've got Louise and Elise who can't stand him, specifically because Jacob's gone around being like, I'm going to put you up. Ha ha ha. Olivia's getting on the boat of like, would like to see him go, because Jacob is clocking the fact that Olivia is a puppet master in this game. And she goes, anyone who knows my secret, death to you. Get out of here. Stop saying things. Veronica and Jimbo are becoming more weary of Jacob because of Jacob's relationship to Kadri. And they told Anwar yesterday, like, be careful what you tell to Jacob until we get Kadri out. So there are more people flocking to that side. I think Jimbo and Veronica are getting there. Jeff is there. Jeff would like to see him go. So I think Jacob's stock is not as great as he thinks it is. But again, the beauty of this game is this entire season has been like, someone's stock is sinking. They should probably be in trouble soon. But then someone makes an ass of themselves, or someone does something, and next thing you know, there's a bigger target than them. Like, Jacob does not have the best game in the sense of everyone liking them. A majority of the house wants to see him go. But then on these calls, people aren't talking about Jacob. They're talking about Olivia. They're talking about Kelly. They're talking about Bridget. So as much as I'm saying here, Jacob's not in a great spot, I don't know if anyone's actually going to target him. But like, and if he's on the block, are they going to vote him out? I don't know.
Since he's so absent, it might be benefiting him, because it's like, well, I was a little irked at that call, but I haven't had to sit on hours of calls with this man being irritated when I'm irritated about what person X over here is doing. So maybe his absence is like the thing that's kind of keeping him in.
For the record, Josh has corrected my grammar, and I put Josh in timeout for 5 minutes. I'm not sure what I said, but he said wary Carl. I don't know what I said, but Josh, you're in timeout. I can't wait for Josh to join the StreamYard, because he can't watch it on YouTube for 5 minutes. So Josh joins.
This cast is like a group of people who are pointing guns at each other and waiting for one person to fire off. But the issue is that they're all going to end up shot. Once it fires off, they're all going to be shot.
Yeah, like
it's going to be like Reservoir Dogs. Spoiler alert.
And I'm not sure if y'all ever played this board game. It's called Cash and Guns, but it's very similar in the concept of like you're pointing guns at people, but no one knows which guns are loaded and which have blanks in them. It's very much this, where everyone's like guns out at everybody, but like everyone has threats. But at the end of the day, some of these are empty threats, because you got to target some people first. It's just a question of who's going to shoot first and which threat are they actually going to capitalize on.
Josh found a workaround.
Oh, he did. Okay, I can't put ourselves in timeout, sadly. Can I? Oh, I can. I can put Brother Hometowns in timeout. That might end the stream. I can't do that. God, that'd be really fucking funny. Oh man, other things to note, which is, I guess we'll get into this in the veto when Kadri's renom, has jumped around a lot. He thought about Olivia. he thought about Olivia. He's always contemplated Anwar. Jimbo's in there right now. Jeff is now an option. I don't think the veto's being used, so I think Jeff's going to be okay. But it's looking like Anwar would be the renom and not Jimbo. Ultimately, Kadri wants Olivia's target to stay as strong as humanly possible, and Olivia's target relies on the fact that her ride or die, or in Olivia's terms, her late game ally stays in the game. So as long as Jimbo's here, Olivia seems a threat. But when Jimbo goes, is Olivia seen with, is seen as such a huge target to take out? I don't know. I still think yes, but from Kadri's perspective, let's just keep Jimbo in. Let's get rid of Anwar. And then leading up to the HOH, or to the veto, we've got that information being facilitated throughout the house. Anwar knows he's the renom. I don't know how he's figured this out. Anwar told people that Kadri told him directly. I'm not sure if that's true or if it got around to him. Not too sure about that, but Anwar knows.
Maybe he just senses it and said it.
And maybe, but again, I feel like a lot of people were sensing that they'd go up on the block, so I have no clue how he figured it out or if it's just a gut feeling. Yeah, he's just right, but he knows it's a do or die situation for him. And on this like triangular call, Kara, Louise, and Anwar agree to like just lie to Jeff. If Jeff asks for a call him and make him feel really good. Tell him Bridget's gonna stay, yada yada yada. Like convince him that he, one, should not use the veto if he wins it, or two, just convince him he doesn't need it, period. Like, and that's what, I mean, Kara's the only person to call him before the veto, but definitely like, employs that strategy of feel good, make him feel like he doesn't need it, which increases our odds of making sure Anwar can win it, to either save Veronica or just keep him the same and they boot Bridget, which is exactly what happens. Anwar wins the veto handedly, I must say. Was doing very well throughout the competition. I think was top 3 in each round every time, was very good. And as soon as he wins the power veto, he basically wants to just ensure he doesn't want to use the veto, which is a great call from Anwar because he's already used it once on Veronica in round 1, and he very much has gone around telling people, I'm not in a duo with Veronica. I really am not. If you use it on her again, you can't really say that anymore, Anwar. So I think he makes the right call and doesn't want to use it, but needs to make sure he has the votes to save her. Because he doesn't want to lose her, even though I think worst case scenario, if he loses her, he's not going to be like heartbroken because it's like, hey, my duo is now gone. But I think he does want Bridget to go, and I think he does have the votes. So I think he makes a really great call. He hasn't done it yet, but unless something crazy happens today.
He's so fun in his DRs. He and Louise are my favorite like DRs now that we've lost our dear Michael.
Anwar's wild, y'all. Like every confessional's a 2-minute trip. A 2-minute trip.
I thought he was gonna crash and burn so quick, but he is so self-aware that it was really early in the game. I've been dying to talk about Anwar because I'm just like so impressed with him. Early in the game, he spoke to like Bridget or something, and she said something, and then in his DR he was just like, she was wrong about this, but I'm just gonna smile and be like, yes, girl, and go with it. And that's when I was like, okay, he's self-aware, he knows what he's doing. And then watching him on call with Bridget yesterday, just like promising her up and down, like, I want to get rid of this duo. Mm-hmm. This is bad for my game, Veronica. Like, I think Bridget really thinks Anwar would vote to get rid of Veronica right now. Yeah. Also, question. I know Olivia thinks from her DR that losing Bridget is really bad for her game. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I think it's a very like Susie, Jacob, Carly thing of it all in 13. I think Olivia can start to see that her position's getting worse, and I think she's resorting immediately to like this fight or flight response of like, let me just like fight with my people, rather than seeing that like my target maybe gets a little bit better if she goes, and like I might actually have a better chance of fighting with new people once Bridget's gone, because maybe people might approach me more thinking like, oh, now that Bridget's gone, Olivia might need somebody who's their number 2 now, their number 3 now. And I think, and I can't blame people for resorting to this, because I think a lot of us have been in this position of like, oh shit, I'm on the bottom, let me just stick to my people, rather than thinking, well, maybe losing these people and then I can maybe make something anew. But it's very Sparks, Carly, and Susie when they got found out to be a trio because of the whole picture gate of it all. And they're like, oh, well, let's just stick together. And I'm like, no, go out. Like, be okay to lose Carly. Be okay to lose her. Because as soon as Carly went, Susie and Sparks were chilling for a minute. They chilled for 3-4 rounds before they became, back in trouble again. So it's like, there is advantage. There is addition to subtraction. There is value in that.
There's like a level you have to try to balance with being like upset that they're going, but understanding it's a new round, and a new round can mean anything. Mm-hmm. And I think the best case for her is to literally just take her foot off the gas. Just sit back, let a couple things happen, like keep being social, talk to who you need to talk to. Don't try to make waves right now, and don't be upset that an ally is about to go home, because the second you show that you're upset, you're next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like this could just weaken her position just enough where she could use it to her advantage. Everyone thinks she has all the power, but in the same way that Anwar is saying losing Veronica would mean his duo is gone, that could be Olivia's like thing as well. She could be like, well, my person's gone now.
Exactly. Like,
and I'm less of a threat.
She can harness it, and especially if she gets blindsided here, it's like, be like, oh, I'm the puppet master, but I just got blindsided, y'all. Like, I was left out of this vote. Like, I'm not as powerful as y'all think I am. You go. Oh no, you go.
Say, in season 10, like after all of season 6 was wiped out, pretty much back to back to back to back, I was just like, well, this is a new game. The people I know aren't here anymore, so pick me up.
And you almost won. You were a part 3 away from winning the season.
Yeah,
I mean, you really have to be able to pivot, and you cannot put your foot down that hard into something. You need to be able to just be like, oh, this is okay. This is the board now. Let's go.
You have to know when to stick to your guns and when to just let it happen.
Yeah. In the words of Kenny Rogers, you got no one to hold him and no one to fold him. Okay, I mean, you can't go for that. But yeah, I think you have to know that you're not going to get everything you want in this game. That's not how this world works. If you get everything you want, something went very wrong. Derek's game in Big Brother 16 is an anomaly. It should not happen that way. It just should not. And it never will. You just can't win them all. And you have to be flexible. And I think some of this cast is not flexible, and it shows very clearly.
I in 13, Tay, I loved Tay. I wanted to rock with Tay all the way down. And then, but I was just like, oh, Tay doesn't rock with me though. She's rocking with these people.
I loved you too.
I know, with those things where I'm socially, I'm I love her so much, but we're just not
yeah, we just
not liking up yet.
Fun. I feel like that's what's fun about the game is switching it up. If Jeff, for example, right now, if he was able to fully pivot out of this Elite 8 and start caring about the newer players, that would be so fun to watch and probably really fun for him to do.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of it, that's the next thing on my agenda is the Olivia v. Jeff Cold War continues to exist. Olivia gets on a call with Kadri last night, and do they discuss the nominations? No. Instead, they talk about other things. And they talk about Olivia leaks this Elite 8 plan, which is, for people who aren't familiar, is Jeff's 8 people, including himself, that he is willing to ride or die with. Oh, Jesus, who are they? Hold on. Let me run through them. I can see it. Let's see here. It is.
Isn't in there.
Anwar, Bridget, Caro, Elise, Jeff, Kelly, Louise, Olivia are the 8. Basically, it's the org veterans who should stick together, know that they are threats, and basically get rid of Kadri, Veronica, Jimbo, and Jacob. Get rid of them, and then us 8 just battle bloodbath to the end. Bitch, no. Number one,
battle right now. Let's go.
It's the Hunger Games. You don't leave the best to last. You yeet them when you can. You yeet them when you can because you want to be at the end with people you can beat. That's number one. Number 2, you don't get to decide who's a deserving winner based on org history. That's not how this works. In this case, Crystal never would have won 13.
If I was dropped into this game, I would definitely try to be like, all right, we got to take out vets and newbies. You have to balance it because if it weighs too much to one side, then it's just going to start taking over. But I would try my hardest to balance it. A newbie goes, a vet goes, a newbie goes. That's what I would try to do personally if I was any one of them.
Yeah,
Max. Right.
Literally, it's the way Veronica's an org vet. It's also the fact that
Jacob. What's this? It's nonsense.
Jacob is not an org vet, but he's played mediums. It's not like he has. And Jimbo's the same way. Jimbo and Jacob have played games. They're just not on our side of the community. But it does not mean that they are new players. They are new to you, but they are not newbies. Kadri is the only newbie that remains in the game. He's never played one of these, but Kadri holds himself like he is a vet. And Kadri being told about this really, really pissed him off because he's like, Jeff, I saved your ass. I saved your ass at 13. I used the veto on you because you told me that we were in this together and that we would be at the end and we would, do what we could, to fight the world. And now here you are just going to play with the people that you've seen in other orgs, and I'm just being written off because you didn't know me coming into the game. That's such a stupid reason. And now Kadri is like, well, if Anwar uses the veto, which he won't, but if he does, maybe I put up Jeff just to be like, oh, I'm a newbie. Guess we're not working together, just to piss him off. Just be like, fine, go up on the block. But yeah, this Elite 8 plan has got. It's already been talked about between the vets that are in this Elite 8 plan, and they're like, this is stupid. They're all like, this is dumb. We all don't see eye to eye. So
that's
why
the part that even makes less sense. I'm like, Jeff, some of these people
want to work together.
Want to work with you. What are you talking about? Why would you want them to stay in the game?
Right? Olivia and Kelly or Anwar, Caro, and Louise don't want to work with Olivia and Kelly, so why should they protect them for the sake of org vet status? They don't want to, and it's stupid, and none of them are planning to agree to it. The only person who seems like they're ready to still do this is Jeff. But the fact that now it's gotten out to Kadri, and I imagine Kadri will tell Jacob mighty soon, that it's us newbies.
It's like the ants on steroids and just as dumb and hierarchical, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? The word's not working.
Oh, I can't wait for Josh to bully you in the comments.
And time out.
Time out.
I feel like if we're going by let me just hang out with my friends, that's when it starts kind of feeling like sequester a little and you're just playing with your buddies.
Yeah.
It's not cute. As someone who yelled about it almost every day on BBH16 literally 4 months ago, I hate it. It's not fun. It's not fair. We did not make this cast for these vets to just stick together. That's not the point of this. If it happens, it happens, but it does not make me feel good inside that we cast these newbies to send them to their demise because they're new. That's not the point of this. We make a cast because we think each and every single one of them could win this and could succeed. But if we just are going to play with our friends, then
this isn't the challenge. Stop this rookie veterans crap. It's boring.
Yeah,
because we want to see the new people thrive. We've seen all your asses before. We need to see these new people.
You don't have to roll over and let them win.
No, but
don't write them off because they're. Yeah, you can't be if Jeff had gone into his DR and been like, here's why I don't want to work with Veronica, here's why I don't want to work with Jacob, here's why I don't want to work with Kadri, and here's why I don't want to work with Jimbo, and that only leaves me with these people that all happen to be org vets, great, awesome, love it. But the fact it's like, I want to work with them because we're all huge threats, and I would rather just have us 8 at the end, fight it out, bloodbath, and we have a deserving winner regardless, and like, we're the 8 most deserving people that I would like to see in this game.
If you get to the end and you won, you deserve to win, so fuck off.
Exactly.
If a newbie makes it to the end, they're just as deserving as any of you, maybe more, because you all have already played, and a newbie this would be their first time.
There's definitely something impressive about somebody showing up and just doing the damn thing
and doing it. And honestly, I think this is the straw that breaks Bridget's back. I think this is what sends Bridget out the door. Now hearing about this org vet status versus people who aren't org vets is going to absolutely lock in Jimbo and Jacob to vote Bridget out and to keep Veronica a so-called not org vet, despite her like this is her like 7th or 8th org.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing is we've seen this how many times have we seen this where someone else is the reason someone else is going home? Robbie was a big reason why Stan went home in round 1. Jeff might be a huge reason Bridget goes home here. I mean, Bridget also is to blame. She can only blame herself at some points, even though realistically, I don't feel like she did anything wrong in comparison to anybody else left in the game. I think just an unlucky break for her that Kadri wins because everyone else has been making mistakes about, if Louise had won, we'd be like, Jacob, you idiot. You shouldn't have gone around telling everyone you didn't like her. You fool. And Bridget just, bad timing of her still being pressed about train of thought. So, like, really nothing she did wrong out of the ordinary of anyone else, but just bad luck for her.
People really do hold on to stuff. I'm like, you know what? Remember what happened. Put it in your pocket and move on. You can't, I don't know. Like, I would have made it to the end if Anna and I had just continued our, like, thing. I'm like, well, I was aware and I was like, she might vote me out. I don't know. I think we're cool. If we're not, I don't really have any hard feelings about it. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
In season 10, I nominated Shelby round 1 of the game. And then 10 rounds later on, she used the veto on me to save my life. So, like, literally, you can put that in your pocket and focus on the connection and try to rebuild it.
Yeah.
You have to.
You kind of have to, because you're going to upset somebody at some point. That's how these games work.
You have to be able to do what's best for your game, no matter how much it hurts your heart or how much you don't want to do it. Sometimes you have to make the hard choices to better your game. Let it go with Liv. LOL, IKEA. Cannot wait to put Sarah and Olivia into duo season. They have to work together. Can't wait. But
it is. I mean, it's so to a person's. I've seen it now. I've been behind the scenes and then played a season, and I've just seen it happen where that chip on someone, it just festers and it just rots on them, and it comes back on them. And if they could have just like let it go and not forgotten it, but just moved on, they would have been in a far better position. It's like you shot yourself in the foot with this. That's
yeah.
And remember that in life too, children. Like,
don't hold grudges. Don't hold grudges. Like, some people deserve to be banned from your life, and that's chill.
Right.
Or put someone
But if someone wrongs you once, like, move on. It's okay. Like, like sunk costs are a thing. I learned anything in business school. If moving forward is better off for you than holding the grudge, move forward. And that's most everything. Like, some people deserve to be banned for life, and I'm not going to say why. But y'all know why.
Personal to you.
Personal you if they don't agree with your belief system. And by belief system, if your belief system is that everyone should be treated equally no matter about anything that they grew up with, that would be my personal belief system, is everyone should just get to live their life how they want to live their life. And you shouldn't get to tell anybody otherwise. But moving on, we're not going to make this political. Moving in to today, I think we're going to see a little bit of Paranoid Bridget come back. I think it's seeping in a little bit, but she's done, and hats off to her. She has done a great job of managing it. Like, she came in telling us preseason she was the most paranoid player in XTC, and she's going to be so paranoid. She has kept it to a minimum this season. I think it's going to come out today. I can see it. she got on call with Caro yesterday after the triangular thing, and she was like, something's off. And then she tried to get on call with Anwar, and it took them a while. And she goes, why is this taking so long? Like, she's like, what the hell? Like, he always would hop on call with me immediately. She's starting to see it, and she's getting a little paranoid about it. And I think she's trying to tell herself not to be, but I'm like, no, girl, like this is the right feeling. Like, you are correct in feeling paranoid because they're plotting against you, sis. So I'm wondering, I wonder what level of paranoid Bridget will see, but Bridget's going to fight like fucking hell to stay today. I don't think it's locked and done. I would say it's probably 90% there that Bridget will likely get at least 5 votes, maybe even 6 to send her home. Because the only people who want to see her for sure stay are Elise, Olivia, and Jeff. Kelly's on the fence. She doesn't really care, but the other 5 seem right now locked in on that side. But, you know, we've seen many campaigns flip a vote last minute. So, like, I'm very intrigued to see what she's able to say and if Olivia or Jeff ultimately are her demise. Olivia and Jeff should shush, because if they want their way to happen, they need to not talk. Because if they say it, they're going to get the exact opposite. Like, Jeff might not realize his position, but I think Olivia does. I think Olivia realizes that everyone sees her as a puppet master, so she can't puppet master this vote. She can't go around trying to tell people how to do it.
We'll be able to not do that.
We'll see, but really all eyes on Jacob and Jimbo today. They are the power players this round. They get to dictate what happens. I would say Jimbo is probably the biggest power player. Funny enough, Jimbo, who was in such a shit position a few days ago, I think is in the biggest power position, because you do have Jimbo and Olivia's relationship, where Olivia really wants Bridget to stay, but then you've got Jimbo's relationship with Veronica. But does Jimbo need to lose Veronica to be in a better spot? I don't know. I think Jimbo holds a lot of cards this round. So I'm intrigued to see what happens today. Any predictions, any last thoughts about this round? Looking forward to live night, which is tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Elise is winning this game.
That's what I said. I said Elise. Yes. Sorry, Prob was on call after the veto, and Mitchell Hammond asked us who was winning this game, and I said Elise. And we took notes. K-Pal said Caro. Mitchell said Jake.
Caro right now.
Mitchell Hammond said Jacob. I think Max said Louise, but I said Elise. I stand by that. I think Elise is winning this game as of right now.
I think Louise is too out there to get that far. I think she's great. I love her. But I think whereas Elise and Caro both seem to, I don't know, they're just kind of magical in that, like, slipping under. I'm like, oh, okay. They've just really repositioned themselves again well, and I hope Elise gets some more confidence.
Katie, winner pick?
Oh, I'm an Elise Turner stan account. I did tell them that they were going to win their next game, so I like being right.
Was that before or after you slit their throat?
Afterward.
Yeah, fun fact, anyone doesn't know this, Katie absolutely crushed Elise's heart, broke it in a million shattered pieces in Paranoia 4, and sent them home in 4th place. And then right after, shattered K-Pal's heart in 3rd. But you did win the season, so it was all in a good cause.
Because the way that Elise is playing right now is giving me Paranoia vibes, where they went into it and everyone was like, Elise is a really, really big threat. And then Elise just missed it, everyone.
And I guess that's a great segue into kind of live night. The only person who's targeting Elise is Jacob. But that's the thing, is even if Elise is on the block, I don't know if people vote out Elise. And I'm just going to say live night is going to be very interesting to watch, because how these coins are going to factor in is going to show a lot of cards. How people use them on live night is going to show who you trust and who you don't trust. And I mean, you obviously they're going to show how many coins that they have. Like, it's going to be very revealing, and a lot of people are going to gain intel on how people play this by either how people play their coins or how people don't even play their coins. It's going to show a lot. So I'm intrigued to see what happens on live night and how this shakes up the game, regardless of if it's Bridget or Veronica that leaves us today. I mean, hell, maybe Anwar gets crazy and uses the veto. I don't know. Anwar might wake up in a sour mood and decide to just throw chaos. He did tell us in our DR before we went to bed, was like, maybe Hurricane Wheezy enters the house tomorrow unexpectedly. Who knows? So we'll have to see. I'm super excited to see not only where this round goes, but the future, because this cast has a ton of winner threats still left in the game. Like right now, I don't think I can see Olivia winning this game. I don't think I can see Kadri winning this game. I don't think I can see Jeff winning this game. But almost anybody else, and I don't see whoever survives the block winning this game, but like I could see Caro, I could see Elise, I could see Jacob winning this game, I could see Anwar winning this game. Like there's a lot of I could see Louise winning this game. There are a lot of people who I'm like, I can see it. I can see it for y'all. And this doesn't happen very often. Like in 13, I was like, no, it's probably Crystal or Susie, maybe Tay, maybe Anna, depending on how this shakes up. But like, there's not a lot of people that you're like, oh yeah, there's so many winner potentials left in there. But like right now, there really are so many winner threats because of just how this game is shaped up. And I'm so excited. Oh, there you go. He didn't use it. I already sent in this video. Well, Anwar, really ruining the vibe here.
I enjoyed Anwar's hair so much in his DRs. I love his hair.
I love
another curly-haired brother and sister out there.
CLC's cat is
loving. I love it.
And CLC, I know you were just talking for like 5 minutes. I didn't pay attention to a single word you just said because I was looking at the cat.
Oh, this is Pepper, who I absolutely cannot stand. The other cat I love. I don't know where Athena is, but I love Athena.
Athena?
Athena's the big fluffy one.
I named my cat Athena.
Oh my god. Yeah, Athena. Love Athena. Love that bitch. This cat, hate her.
Yeah, that's Hades for me.
Yeah, I didn't name these cats. Foster named them, but yeah, I can't stand this Pepper cat. She annoys the fuck out of me. But that's fine. And then my dog's over here. He also annoys the hell out of me. But
now my cat's like, "Oh, aren't talking about me." She just came over me out.
Hey, Ketchup.
That's awesome.
Good old there's Ketchup.
My one last thought. Last night on call with Jacob, Jimbo, they talked about how they're not necessarily working together, but other people are targeting both of them, and that getting Bridget out now would be getting rid of someone who would target both of them. And I thought that was very insightful. And also it felt like Jimbo was trying to convince Jacob to get Bridget out, but I think they're both like very much on board.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how people approach this today, because Anwar, Karen, Louise want this to be hush hush, but you need Jimbo and Jacob to like confirm it with them, and then it's going to be intriguing to see how people navigate these conversations, because if they get what they want, they're going to have to lie to some people to get it. Also, are they going to clue in Kelly? I don't know, because everyone was like, we want to like just call with Kelly to see if she'd be okay with it. Why do you care if she's okay with it?
But you know what will happen if they don't clue Kelly in and she votes on the wrong side? She'll be fine. She'll be like,
she doesn't care. Kelly, the last 2 days have been like, don't care what happens, don't care. So it's just really funny that people are like, should we tell her? Like, I don't want to hurt her feelings, but she don't fucking care. Like, Bridget is the target by Kadri because of Kelly. Like, Kelly buried Bridget 18 feet under during those couple hours after Kadri went out of household. Like, Kelly did that. Kelly doesn't fucking care what happens, but it's just funny to me that everyone's just like, oh, Kelly's in so many alliances, but like, I don't want to like hurt. I want to hurt her feelings. I want to make sure she knows.
Because she's in so many alliances, shouldn't that tell you she doesn't care? Like,
it's
not her. She doesn't care. She's moving forward.
Mess. This cast is delivering, but God, they are messy as hell. And this jury game is going to be, and as I think I said it yesterday, I think everyone's waiting for the announcement. Oh, we made jury, and then the gloves are off. Once that happens, get ready. Like, y'all thought it was spicy before. These people are just going to throw shit to the wind. I'm excited to watch it, but
because I think people have mentioned, or Jeff said, this would be Caro's first time on jury, right? Maybe last time.
This is Caro's first time making a jury in Big Brother.
Big Brother, maybe that's what
but
it was.
honestly, I know she played Conquest, but she did not technically. She wasn't on the jury because she was at the final 3. So this might be her. If she does not get to the end, this might be her first time on a jury.
And
maybe. Anwar for sure has never made a jury.
I want that for him so much. I need him here the whole time.
Yes. The first time you had a big jury, and I remember sitting there like, all right, let's go. Game on, it's time. Let's do this.
It's time.
These people are all gonna kill each other.
Yeah, people been biding their tongue because every single person I think has come to their DR being like, if jury is not fucking next round, I will scream. Everyone wants that milestone more so than I've seen in an org before. And once they make that milestone, I think a lot of caution goes to the wind. People just are done with the niceties, the formalities of it all. People are just gonna brawl. I mean, we were promised a house fight, Veronica, and I'm waiting for it.
Yes.
I'm waiting for it. House meeting. I'm waiting for it, but we'll have to see. But
we're gonna a different take on the whole thing because I was nominated and on the block right before jury, and I was like, you know what? Unless I feel because shit happened, I'm not gonna go into it. But unless I feel like I have a chance at this, I don't just send me out now. I don't want to bother. Let me go into the VL, have a good time, and stop being worried about anything because I was so stressed out all the time. So I was like, if I get freaking evicted first or second into the jury, I'm gonna be pissed because I'd rather just be free.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm hoping that's how Bridget feels when she leaves and learns that she was doomed. Bridget, if she stays, is still doomed in this game.
Just a quick thing about Liv. I played Liv's last game with her, Utopia, and
oh shit.
In the jury, she got blindsided. She didn't handle it the best. She kept bringing up how she got blindsided to every single person. But she did give it. I think that's when she gave her confessional where she was like, I'm the government and these people are trying to stage a coup.
Oh, lols. That has been... Kelly did send us that confessional, that clip of I'm the government. I had no clue what that was from.
So I'm like, even if she doesn't handle it well, I'm like, give us the content, please. I need another I'm the government moment.
and I think she will handle it well just because she's giving me very Crystal vibes in the sense of she prepares herself every day for things to go the worst case scenario. This girl will send us 200 messages a day about all the things that could possibly happen. And I think I do the same thing, which is if I tell myself here are all the possibilities and one of them happens, even if it's the worst case possibility, at least I saw it coming. I at least predicted it. So I think Olivia will handle it well.
Y'all knew that. I did that every single round. I'm like, well, if this happens and I go out, it's fine. I just got okay with it. I was like, I made it this far. That's pretty cool. It's fine if I go out. I was preemptively making sure I didn't have a weird meltdown when I went out. I was just like, you know what? I don't want to go in that weird emotional space about this thing. It's a game. I just want to be okay with it. Okay.
Team meltdowns, though. Team meltdowns.
I just kept being I can't believe I'm still in the game. I never thought I was going to make it this far.
I didn't either, honestly. And every round I was like, I'm still here.
I remember I was like, oh my God, why am I at this halfway point? How the hell did I even get here?
Hey, that's my motto. Set the lowest bar for yourself. You can only rise above that.
Everything was a bonus. Every round I survived, I was like, that's cool. Hey.
Yeah, it only gets better from here. And maybe that's a really poor and terrible way of thinking, but it's worked
I just wasn't gonna get
25 years.
I was not gonna be like, oh, I just got voted out. And I just refused to be like, I'm gonna drag you all down with me and I hate this so much. I just wanted to be like, all right, you got me. Good game. See you after. Play hard. Bye.
Growth. We stand.
Maybe that's the 40 years talking. I don't know. 20-something Crystal might have been a very different animal.
People not being toxic on their way out, I could not believe it. No, I mean, as someone who has been very angry at being voted out before, it takes growth to get to a spot where you get voted out and you go, good work, good job, well played.
It was like also, I was like, okay, cool. I can like start going back to a normal life and resting and not being stressed out about it. Okay.
I'm dead.
Here for that. Because that was a lot. It was a lot. That's why I don't want to play again.
For that second, maybe spoiler, but the second episode of the new Survivor, that girl was like, I was a little jealous that you got to go. You get to be in a bed, eat food, chill.
That's sometimes how I felt. I was like, well, if I go out now, cool. I regain all this time. I don't have to like feel like I'm having heart palpitations constantly. I could just like go on with life. This is great.
Yeah.
That's how I felt in like today. But back in season 10, Stoner's being really loud.
Is Stoner so loud right now?
Bring him in, Stoner!
Big Brother Hometowns 13 reunion.
But in season 10, like every round was stressful. I didn't want to go. I was like, I can't say it because she's but I was like somebody in a movie that's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Don't let me go.
I think because of the attitude I had as I got down to the end, I was so like, it's really cool that I'm here. If I get voted out, whatever. And I really, as you watch DRs in our season, everybody starts getting very like stressed out and down on themselves. And the closer I got to the end, the more I was like, I'm having fun. Let's see what happens. Let me do this thing. Oh my God, I got what I wanted. Y'all believe that? I was having a great time.
We promise these things are fun in moderation. Like, gotta know your own limit. You gotta know your own limit and know when these things get toxic. Because, girl, they do. Girl, they ain't good for your mental health always. They're not. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I've cried. I know Tay has.
I've cried on camera for Big Brother Hometowns.
I cry all the time.
I refuse.
Yeah, I mean, I cry all the time anyway. So like, crying in org is nothing new. But all of us have cried in org.
You did.
Oh,
you broke my heart. The DRs broke my heart. I was like, oh.
Oh, they did.
I lost it. And 15, man.
15 hurt everyone. 15
well,
hurt. I think
you
everyone
haven't cried in Big Brother Hometowns. You weren't playing it.
You're not playing it. That's our motto here. That's our motto here. Literally, I've never seen a series that causes more people to cry than our series. And maybe it's the fast-paced nature of it all, but like this series will break people down.
Anyways, apply for next season.
BBH17. It's a super great time.
I've said it before. I'm like, if you didn't cry during Big Brother Hometowns, did you even play?
Girl, I didn't cry during BBH9 because I was only in it for like 8 days. But I have cried in almost every other game that I've played.
Carl does feel emotion.
I do.
Usually
just
rage.
a little bit. You are right. Rage, anger. Speaking of anger, as we sign off, hey Josh, remember when I won Jason Ronce's Survivor number bond mini? Alrighty, on that note, we are peacing out for me, for Jason, BBH6 and BBH10 alumni. Almost won BBH10 for the record, just for everyone to have it there. KDP, who will be playing BBH at some point in time, eventually, whenever it's time. Tastes like BBH13, BBH15, double loser, sadly. Gross, terrible. Even though overall number one draft pick in BBH15 and the second overall draft pick in BBH13. And our overall number one draft pick in BBH13, the winner of BBH13, it is Crystal. We're peacing on out. Buy BBH merch if that suits your fancy at Big Brother Hometowns store. Get a cute little mug like that. Mine's over there somewhere. But we're peacing on out. I'll be back hopefully at 10:30. If it seems like the Wi-Fi has worked since the first snaggle of the day. It seems like it's been working just fine after that. It's so weird. I'll see you hopefully at 10:30 tomorrow. Tonight we'll be evicting someone, most likely Bridget. But tomorrow, 9 p.m. live night. Be there, or you're going to kick from the Discord. Bye, everyone.